Welcome everybody. We're finally back. We're back. Shag Club NFL. I'm your boy Nick. As usual, I am joined now by someone who's actually a responsible adult. And I don't mean Scott, because he's not responsible. Oh. Good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. How have we been? How have we been? I'm good. I'm really, really good. Obviously my turmoil is now over and done with now. If anybody has seen on my recent posts on Twitter, you'll understand now. I finally let the cat out of the bag, and yes, I am a responsible adult now. I'm a responsible father, and big up to Munsey, by the way, on the Sports Capital. And yeah, it's a whirlwind I've been in for like the last month or so now, but Christmas has been absolutely fantastic. And it's good to finally be back on. It's been a long while. Since we've done this.
It's been a minute. It's definitely been a minute. Yeah, as I said to you when you were on, that's the longest I've ever had to keep the secret. So congratulations to you. Welcome to the Fathers Club. Yeah, they grow up fast, mate. So
yeah. Although you say I'm a responsible, although if you should say I'm a responsible adult, even though I am a responsible adult now, a responsible parent, it is New Year's Eve. So cheers.
Yeah, exactly. And so it should be. And talking of responsible adults, we couldn't find another one. We got that damn Yank back on. Mr. Smug.
Hey, he's the responsible one, but
Good day to you.
Good day to you, gentlemen. He's the responsible one, but he's sitting there drinking lemon gin, and I'm drinking iced tea. So...
Scott, it's like,
and I might as well be drinking.
It's
water,
like midday 11. It's like 11 a.m. midday over where you are. So we don't.
That's true. That's a good point.
If you started pre-drinking midday for New Year's Eve, and yeah, I don't know what to believe then. But
yeah, right.
We've got all the we've also got all of Scott's burner accounts in early. your dad joke powers will start manifesting any day now, Carl. Apparently. So, and also, congratulations as well. Who is that? Who's the ugly one in the front? I recognise the one in the back, but who's that ugly person in the front of? Oh dear! And people say I've got to face the radio, but there you go. Well, she hides behind you because obviously, I don't know why she would. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of things, if this is your first time here, please hit that like and subscribe button down below. And as I put out earlier, we're doing the usual. We're going to do picks. Got Freddie joining us, Ivan, just possibly Lawrence, and possibly
Ryan.
My mind's gone blank, but Ryan. That's the one. Now
Ryan will be in his car.
I love. Before we get into it, he is definitely going to be in his car. Now, I love the wordsmiths that the Americans are. I've just got to read it to you off of the NFL website because it chuckled. It made me chuckle. Blaine Gabbert, we all know, back up to Tom Brady in Tampa, okay? And he saved some people from drought. He was on jet skis with his brothers and he saw a helicopter go down into the ocean and he rushed over to help out. But just Nick Shook of around the NFL, right? This is how he described it. Black spends every week preparing to answer the comments on the football field. So it shouldn't be surprising to hear that he did the same when a family found itself, and now this is the really funny bit, aquatic peril. The fuck is aquatic peril? Why couldn't they're in the water? Anyone? I mean, Mr. Smug, you're obviously from America. What the fuck is aquatic peril? And why would you even say that?
You know,
Can you offer any wisdom on that, Scott?
Some people just try to think of the smartest way to say things. And my guess is they probably write the article out and then they go through the thesaurus and just try to find a bunch of words that sound smarter and fancier and then just cut and paste them in. But
that is around the NFL podcast. In a nutshell, they'll try and they'll always do something like that. I'm sure it's Dan Howes that tries to come up with some sort of technicality algorithm that actually works into what they're trying to say.
It tickled me.
That's funny.
I read that first paragraph and I thought, I cannot read the rest of the article after hearing about aquatic peril. Madness. Right, we got a lot to get to. Few things to bring up. Hang on, I'm just trying to find the right thing. The Rams still suck. Anyone want to agree, disagree? The second worst Super Bowl returning team, I think, in NFL history. Brought in Baker Mayfield, had one good game, and they still suck. So that's quite hilarious. Obviously, West champs, 49ers, shit division, don't care, still the champions. Also, JJ Watt retires. First round Hall of Fame, Carl?
Oh, no question. The guy is, when he arrived onto the scene, he was just described as this absolute monster on the end of a defensive line. He was just cause and wreak havoc. There's a reason he's a multiple-time Pro Bowler. There's a reason being why he's a multiple-time All-Pro. The only thing that's missing off his resume is a championship. but he did say in his interview when he released his statement, he said he actually feels very respectable about the situation that he didn't obviously win a championship. He feels more privileged, the fact that he didn't win a championship, but he had all these accolades. JJ Watt will go down as one of the best defensive players in history. I mean, I probably look at it the same as Scott. Remember back in the late 1990s where you had Javon Curse, who played for the Tennessee Titans. Yep. Absolute freak of nature, unbelievable power, unbelievable speed. His turning circle and turning to cut on the free cone drill. It was ridiculous. He's like, this guy is 275, 280, and he's just turning around it like he's just a 180-pound wide slot wide receiver. Absolutely ridiculous. And it looks like Nick's kicked himself out, which is a shame.
I don't know what's worse, Nick's internet or the NFC West.
But as regards to, look, he doesn't need to show anyone his accolades or JJ what has done, because he's shown it for himself. I wish him all the best. He also has a baby boy now. So he's now putting his family ahead of his actual career, which is very, very admirable and very noble of him. Yeah. So I really, really do. I wish him all the best.
Yep.
Paul's in the chat. Carl, Scott, great to have you both. Have a blast, chat. Just about to head out with family to celebrate New Year's Eve. Don't get too drunk. You're a responsible adult, just like me.
Be safe, Paul. Take it easy, man. If you have a few drinks, don't get behind the wheel of that car. But I'm sure Paul doesn't need me to tell him that.
Yeah, he may not have won a championship, but at least he was injured all the time. That's a bit harsh, to be honest. Yes, he had his injuries. He had some really serious injuries on him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
But when he was on the field, you would not want to be a left tackle or right tackle going one-on-one with JJ Watt. You are going to be you're up shit creek without a paddle when it comes to that.
It's kind of crazy to talk about how good of a career that guy had with all the injuries. It just kind of makes you think what his career would have looked like if he hadn't had the injuries. But he's got the heart issue going on, and he's played a long time. He's had the injuries. His body's torn up, beat up, banged up. So it's unfortunate he never really was on like a Super Bowl team. You see a lot of these guys, greatest of all time, though. You see some of these Dan Marino type people that, winning the Super Bowl is hard. It's really hard. But, when J.J. Watt was on the field, there was a lot of quarterbacks that were in bodily peril. So, doing a little wordsmithing for my guy Nick there. I don't know if he caught it or not, but.
He's still shot.
Unfortunately, I didn't. My internet is. Yeah, well, I hope I am. I don't know. I'm going to have to go and kick the router in a minute, I think, and hopefully it will come into life. Sorry, you were being a wordsmith, Scott. What was it?
I was just saying, when J.J. Watt was on the field, quarterback, there was a lot of quarterbacks that were in bodily peril.
No, he's he's going to. Yeah, he's not great. But no, JJ, he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think he's going in there 2028. I think it is. He's supposed to be scheduled
5 years. Yeah,
in 5 years' time. Yeah. So look, we wish JJ Watt. Look, I
all the best in retirement.
All the best in retirement. Right, what has he got up here? Because I honestly don't know what he has done. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's have a laugh. Okay, let's have a laugh, shall we? Car benched at the Faders. Okay. He said he's restarting everything on there. Right. Now, I had a little bit of a rant about this on the Sports Capital NFL latest news show, which was on Thursday, I think it was, when this got released. And my perspective on this is simple. This is financial. This is a financial thing. This has got nothing to do with Derek Carr being a bad quarterback. We all know Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, hasn't got a pot to piss in right now. Derek Carr, if he was to play the last 2 games of this season, he will be guaranteed $40.4 million on the contract for the remaining 2 years left. So basically what they've done, they benched him for 2 reasons. One, because they're not going to pay him that sort of money. And secondly, because they want to keep him fit and healthy so they can actually trade him. That's the main obvious thing. And a lot of people are saying that it's just suicidal what the Raiders are doing here, saying that Derek Carr's not the problem, Josh McDaniels is. Yeah, Josh McDaniels is part of the problem. Unfortunately, you pretty much tied a noose round your neck to the contract it is of Derek Carr on this one. And as a result of that, you've now put yourself in limbo because now you're starting ex-Patriots quarterback Jarrett Stidham, who, by the way, is... that's all I can really say. He's really played one and a half games for the Patriots. Obviously, he played half against Kansas City in that game. He threw a touchdown to the worst receiver the NFL's ever seen in N'Keal Harry. But he didn't... But I don't know. Here's the thing. The Raiders are still in playoff contention. Just. They had a 1%. They had a 1% chance of making the wild card. So mathematically, they weren't out of it.
Yeah.
But they've obviously looked at it in a further light and gone, this is probably game over now, so we might as well do. But the thing is, though, it's not like they could tank for a high pick because they're going to end up with at least, what are they going to end up with? What, an 8 or 9 record at worst?
Something like that, somewhere in there. Yeah, they're not going to be picking in the top 5 or 6 to get quarterbacks. Look, their playoff percentage, they were rounding up to get to 1%. That's got to be like a 0.5% chance of making the playoffs. The funny thing is with the Raiders and benching Derek Carr, first of all, if you bench him and everybody knows you have to release him basically by the Super Bowl or you have to pay him all this money, no one's going to trade for that contract. They're just going to wait for the Raiders to release him and then go try to sign him for cheaper. So you lost all your leverage that you had, if you had any leverage to begin with, by benching him and not playing him. And second of all, Davante Adams went to Las Vegas to play with Derek Carr, and now Derek Carr is going to be gone.
What does that say? What does that? Yeah, but that then puts the conundrum then on Davante Adams.
Right now,
is he gonna ask for a trade?
So now you've pissed off your star wide receiver, your big time offseason acquisition, to go along with your running back, who after the last game, the loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers, was talking about how shitty it is playing for the Raiders. Now he's sick and tired of it. He's disgruntled. He probably wants out now. The Raiders are going to Raider. We talked about this on my show on Chiefs Kingdom Live earlier this week. And what's funny about that is they're not even the team that's in worst shape in the AFC West. The Denver Broncos are in worse shape than the Raiders somehow.
And that's what I think. I think that's one subject we'll get onto for a good hearty laugh, because that's been an absolute fucking that has been an absolute clusterfuck in that over there right now. Well, it has been for about 7 years, but anyway.
You know what? Thankfully, the Chiefs, they play the Broncos and the Raiders these last 2 games. If they win out and the Bills have a loss, then the Chiefs get the 1 seed. So here in Chiefs Kingdom, we're loving all of this turmoil and all of this just absolute poverty franchise situation that those teams find themselves in right now.
Well, that then begs the question. We know Derek Carr's not going to be a Raider in 2023. We know that much. But there are suitors out there that will take him on because he is still a serviceable QB. You're looking at someone like the New York Jets. You're looking at someone like Tennessee, maybe.
The Colts.
The Colts. Well, fuck me. The Colts with their their quarterback carousel. You know, I would say the Panthers as well, but I think Derek Carr will stay way away from that one.
Yeah.
There's one suit I think not only will he go to, I think he'll only go to this suitor if a certain coach was to return. If Sean Payton was to return back to be the Saints coach, I wouldn't at all be surprised he made a shot for Derek Carr. He's a gunslinger. He's a Matthew Stafford type of quarterback. And that put Derek Carr in the Saints QB position, I think that actually suits him. That will suit him pretty well.
Yeah, I don't
You're
know.
also you're in a bad division as well. The Panthers are not great right now. The Falcons keep falconing. The Buccaneers are underachieving massively right now, and
Right.
Brady's going to be out of there, so he won't be there in 2023. So there's a good chance the Saints, if they were really to think long and hard about this, they could say, "All right, let's try and get Sean back in, but let's also try and trade for Derek Carr. Let's try and get him in."
Yeah, I don't know if Derek Carr brings Sean Payton back. Derek Carr's at the end of his career, and Derek Carr he's a mid-level quarterback in the NFL at best, especially at this age and this point in his career. The guy's never won a playoff game. He's made it to the playoffs once. I know he plays for the Raiders all this time, which doesn't help your case. But I've always just thought of Derek Carr as a guy who did just enough to make teams think he was better than average quarterback in the NFL. But if you look at a lot of his numbers and the record, he's not that good. If I'm Sean Payton, I am definitely looking for an opportunity with a team with a quarterback better than Derek Carr.
So you probably say he's the same sort of level as Kirk Cousins then.
I'd say I'd take Kirk Cousins over Derek Carr. I'm trying to think of a good comparison for Derek Carr, and I can't even think of anybody right now.
Ryan Tannehill?
Yeah. Ryan Tannehill is probably more accomplished than Derek Carr, though. But again,
Probably
Derek
is.
Carr's played for the Raiders, which really, really hurts your case. That's not a good position for any player to be in. But I don't know. Who's like a mid-level quarterback in the NFL?
It's very hard to say. I mean, I would go down. I would reach the low-hanging fruit here and say someone like Jared Goff, but considering what
That's probably a good comparison. A guy
Yeah.
that has flashes and will have a good game here and there, but for the most part is his ceiling is average. So look, the Saints, I don't know what their draft situation looks like. They could probably trade up. You can always trade up to get a quarterback, but yeah, I don't know. I feel sorry for whatever team goes out and gets Derek Carr. If they think Derek Carr's their missing piece that's going to get them over the hump and make them a playoff team or a contender, they're sadly mistaken.
Well, here's the thing. I look at the Jets. They've got the number 2 ranked defense in the NFL. They've got a pretty stout running game. They have got weapons to throw to. Plus, they have a very good running game. And their O-line, they've got 2 good tackles there. Obviously, when Mekhi Becton is actually on the field, not when he's injured all the time. They're missing the quarterback. Zach Wilson's not good enough. Mike White is a free agent next year, so he'll be after a starting position somewhere. So you look at the Jets right now, they're only like 2 games back off a wild card spot. They have to win out and need everything to go their way, which looks very, very unlikely to happen. But if you put Derek Carr in that offense, serviceable quarterback play, the Jets will be playoff contender.
Yeah, if you have a good running game and you have a good defense and you don't need Derek Carr to do a lot, I could see the Cardinals maybe making a play for Derek Carr for next year because Kyler Murray is going to miss most of next year, if not the whole year. Maybe you sign him to like, hey, look, man, we'll sign you on a 1-year deal. You come here and play well, you'll get yourself a better contract somewhere else maybe. I mean, if I'm the Jets, I'm sticking with Zach Wilson over Derek Carr. He's got more upside than Derek Carr does.
Zach Wilson needs to change of scenery.
Well, I mean, he could need to change the scenery, but I'm saying as far as the Jets go, Zach Wilson's as good or better than Derek Carr.
Not what I've seen. In the 2 years I've seen Zach Wilson, he's completed 55% of his throws in his rookie year. This year he's done 54%. He hasn't got any better.
He also hasn't thrown 15 interceptions like Derek Carr has this year.
Well, no, Zach Wilson just keeps fumbling it away.
Yeah, I think Derek Carr's tied with Dak right now for the most interceptions in the NFL. Yeah, any team that goes. I mean, look, if your plan is to go out and get the Raiders scraps at quarterback or at any position, you got a bad plan.
Sorry.
Bless you. Looks like we got Nick back.
Blimey, that nearly blew my ears off.
You having fun? You having fun with your new toy?
I don't know how long for. Derek Carr sucks.
Yes.
Sorry. He is trash. The end. That's all I wanted to say on that subject is, yeah, he is not a good quarterback.
No.
Do I think the Raiders have done a dirty on him? Hard to say. I don't see why you would bench. Well, you know, it's not. It's a lot of these teams, right? With a few it's not all on the QB. A lot of it is, obviously, but not everything is always down to the QB.
Right.
And whilst he's had Dak Prescott going on stats, they're exact. In fact, I think statistically, Derek Carr is slightly better than Dak Prescott.
Dak, yeah.
And that tells you what stats. Doesn't tell you the whole story. But the Raiders get their ass kicked this week. I just feel sorry for Josh Ditton because he is going to get completely engulfed in the best defense this side of, well, since Jesus was born. Obviously, the 49ers are going to kick his ass. And it could out of hand, especially with Mr. Irrelevant in there now for Jimmy G, because, of course, all that's happened since Linford Lake. But, yeah, it's... I wasn't surprised by Derek Carr being benched. You thought he might have at least been in street clothes with his team, but I don't know whether what that says about him as a person or what. I don't know.
I've seen.
He'd have at least hung around.
I've seen it on Twitter that he's removed. He's moved the Raiders off all of his social media.
Yeah, he's done with the Raiders. I don't know if that's out of spite. I don't know if that is hurt feelings. If that's they asked him to do that. I don't know what it is.
But hang on a second. If you put yourself in Derek Carr's shoes, you put yourself in Derek Carr's shoes. Okay, you got two more. You need to play these next two games to guarantee yourself $40 million, and they bench you and say, "No, we're going to trade you off." You would be pissed off, wouldn't you? Same with me, and probably same with Nick.
Yeah, but he didn't do himself any favors in that last game against the Steelers, where he threw 3 interceptions and basically lost the game again. He's done that all year.
I think it was during this time, 3 games that they've had 17 plus point leads and blew it.
And a big part of that is him turning the ball over.
Yeah, it's also the fact the defense has just never been that good.
Right. They're the Raiders, after all.
Apart from, obviously... Well, exactly.
Let's not forget that. They beat the Patriots, though.
Yeah, I think
Don't fucking start. Not that play. Oh, fucking hell.
Didn't have any problems with Mac Jones in the Patriots, but
fucking hell. Yeah, don't start on that.
Does it have a problem with him?
Did you hear they were calling that play that the Patriots lost, that the inaccurate reception, kind of like the immaculate reception? So
the immaculate fucking all Ramondre Stevenson had to do on that play was just go down, take it to OT. We had more Patriots fans than Raiders fans in the fucking stadium anyway, so it was like it would have been an off sort of home field advantage.
Sorry, Carl. I just had to throw that little barb in there. I had to rub that in.
Mate, our fucking season's been an absolute. It's just been an absolute. I mean, I've been losing my rag on the Patriots Touchback podcast, which you can find on Spotify, by the way. Yeah, I've been losing my marbles over them for like since the Monday Night Football game lost against the Bears. I've not been happy with this team. This offense just sucks. Yeah. Partly it's due to Mac Jones. Partly it's due to the receivers not running the correct routing. Partly it's due to the offensive line just not doing their job. But it's mostly because Matt Patricia is a fucking hack. He is an absolute idiot. He's a clown.
He does love a...
No. But no, Patricia is an absolute hack. I mean, we should have seen the red flag.
Am I not here?
You're back now.
You're sort of here. No, you're definitely not here.
Oh.
But no, it's just been...
I don't think I've ever been here. I am here. Right. And it is I'm probably on the 4th string reserve internet by now. The Waterboy internet.
Jared Stidham internet.
Exactly. Hopefully I'll be able to get this live. Just very, very quickly, something else that popped up on NFL. New year, new team, 7 players on the move. Obviously, you've just discussed Derek Carr. Do you think he's there next year, or do you think he's looking for past as new?
No chance he's there next year.
I think that's sort of that. Zach Wilson, now obviously you were discussing him as well. And they reckon that Zach Wilson is going to be going some, probably riding his ass on the bench or whatever.
He needs.
I honestly think, definitely, and I think Jimmy G will go to the Jets. That's
wouldn't be a bad fit.
Obviously, the Niners don't keep him. I mean, Jimmy G may still come back for the postseason and lead the Niners to a Super Bowl win. Who knows?
Like that's going to help the fan base.
So that all depends on that. And the other, exactly. And the other thing, of course, if they did keep Jimmy G, and obviously Big Cock Brock has been really, really good. Where does that leave Trey Lance? That's what he's called, Big Cock Brock. I was going to use that as my name today, and I thought I'd better not.
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, I think right now, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. You're going to see if Brock Purdy can lead any more further into this. And even if Jimmy G is fit and healthy to go, say, I don't know, the NFC Championship, why would you just bench Brock Purdy when he's gone on a really good run and he's actually been a very serviceable QB? He's a game manager quarterback. That's all he's been asked to do. It is Jimmy Garoppolo 2.0, just, less attractive. But he is very serviceable. Christian McCaffrey has been his absolute safety valve pretty much throughout most of the season. Deebo Samuel's been out now for like the last 2 or 3 weeks. But George Kittle all of a sudden has just come on like we know George Kittle was capable of. And it's absolutely... It's really curious. If the 49ers do end up making the Super Bowl and possibly winning it, they really have put themselves in a real fucking quagmire here. Jimmy G will probably end up going somewhere else. Brock Purdy could... I mean, who is it?
The thing is, right? The thing is...
Go on.
That's Big Cock Brock to you, please. Can you call him by his correct name? Thank you very much. I don't know how that's going to affect because I said all along that the Niners were going to back Jimmy G because I just didn't feel the love that everybody, and I get he's got potential, but he's not games. Purdy's played in a lot of games, obviously at college level, at a better standard, I believe, college. And I think it's a real dilemma. I really do. If there is a QB contract and Jimmy goes and Purdy beats out Trey Lance, what does that say about Trey Lance in trade? Do you see what I don't? It's a hard one because Brock Purdy. I mean, I was watching the first when Jimmy went down, and he's played really well.
Solid.
Yes, he's a game manager, 100%, but he's done really well.
Yeah, the level of competition hasn't really been there for him, though, right? I mean, it's not hard to throw the ball, hand it off and dump it off to Christian McCaffrey and throw it to George Kittle and let him run get yak. But they haven't – who have they played with him? They haven't played the Eagles or the Vikings or the Chiefs or the Bills or any of these upper echelon teams that are going to be in the playoffs or possible Super Bowl opponent either. I think he's going to come back to earth at some point here once he plays against a better defense and they play some stiffer competition.
Yeah, that you will come across some stiffer competition.
He handled Miami, though. Miami was supposedly this good defense.
Yeah. Tua's gone to
and
shit, and they're hanging on to the 7th seed with the fight for dear life. I mean,
That's the other. Yeah, don't get me started on this Tua thing because that's all I've seen all week about another concussion. He was put back in. He shouldn't have gone in. He should have done this. Should have done that. Blah 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 blah. People calling for him to retire because he's getting the snot knocked out of him all the time and this, that, and the other. I mean, concussions are really relevant in the NFL, and just seems he's sort of on cusp of it every week getting one. It's really strange because you don't hear it about the others, but he just seems to, I don't know, he's a concussion magnet. I don't get it. And I still don't like his lefty throwing motion either. So maybe that has something to do with it.
Oh, for goodness sake. Look, I barreled on about this before we had our break when Tua went down with his... If people don't want to say their head concussions, fine. I'll call them as head injuries. If you've had a number of concussions, but it's been a case of over 5, 10, 15 years, you probably think to yourself, it was just unlucky. Maybe it's a one-off, that sort of thing. When you have 3 head injuries in a small window, i.e. 3 months, that should be alarm bells ringing because the organization is now, you are actually now playing Russian roulette with this player's life. It's all right to say you want to get Tua back in there because you're in the playoffs. But, what happens if he goes back in and it happens in the divisional round or maybe he reaches the AFC Championship and he ends up with another head injury and it comes off even more severe than the one he had against the Bengals the second time round? What happens if it comes off worse? You're not just affecting his career, but you're also affecting his personal life. Remember, Tua has got a wife. He's also got a child as well.
Yeah.
They've got to be very, very careful how they act around this. And Mike McDaniel feels like he's finally playing more of a cautious approach to it. Should have been a cautious approach to it when he actually took him off in the first time round. And for me, the Dolphins are rife with corruption, especially their owner. It has always been, they've made mistake after mistake, okay? But they've got to be very careful of this. They added the pieces around him They added Tyreek Hill to go along with Jalen Waddle. And not only has it worked, it has blossomed. And Tua now looks like not a serviceable QB, but a franchise quarterback. But maybe that's what he needed when he was at Alabama. He had everything around him to succeed. And maybe that's what he needed at the Dolphins. He needed every single part to be correct so he could succeed. I don't think you didn't have Tyreek Hill there. I don't think you'd have the success of what the Dolphins are having currently right now.
No.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
what's your...
Tua's health is Tua's responsibility and Tua's worry, though. Look, these teams, they are playing to win games and make playoffs and win Super Bowls. And if you're cleared to play and you say you're okay to play and he comes out and plays, let's say they take a week or two off, they still make the playoffs and he's out of the protocol. If he's willing to play, they're going to play him. And I don't blame the Dolphins for doing that. I've always put more blame and more responsibility on the player because you are ultimately the number one person that's going to look out for you is you. Absolutely. And you can't count on other people or jobs or companies or teams or family members or relatives or friends to look out for yourself more than you should be looking out for yourself. So I don't know what's going to go on. I don't know what's going to happen with him. You know, they say that the concussion isn't necessarily the dangerous thing. It's that if you get another one before you fully recovered from the previous one is really when you start having the brain damage occur. And it looks like maybe that's happened twice this year now, that he's suffered a concussion and come back and played in the same game. And that's really dangerous.
I don't think it's not that part. It's dangerous. It's also the fact as well that he was back on the field 5 days later. That's not enough time for the brain to secure it. And, you know, the Dolphins have only got themselves to blame for this one. They really, really do. Hence the fact why Tua's not playing in this game against the Patriots. So it's going to be Teddy Bridgewater. And that was the correct decision. That was the correct decision. No way. No, if Mike McDaniel was to put Tua back out there again, when he's playing up against A, one of the best pass rushers in the game, and B, another good up-and-coming pass rusher, Josh Uche, that's not going to end well.
No.
It ain't going to end well.
No.
And
a word of advice for Teddy B, just throw the ball to Tyreek the whole game. That's what Tua should have done at the end of the game against the Packers, and they might have had a chance to win that game. So just throw the ball to Tyreek and Jalen, man. It's not that hard. It's a simple formula.
Yeah.
Because, of course, you've got Teddy 2 gloves, haven't you, coming in to do it. Jalen Hurts apparently is still hurt.
Yep.
So, yeah, if the Niners win out, could get the number 1 seed. The NFC West champs, obviously, with the greatest defense that's ever been.
Eagles play the Saints. Yeah. Eagles play the Saints. I don't think the Eagles are going to lose to the Saints. Yeah. The Magic Mustache had a good game against Dallas.
Minshew Mania looked pretty good against the Cowboys.
He looked very good. Very good.
He had 3 turnovers, which was ultimately what cost him the game. If he could iron that out, but. Yeah, the Eagles only need to win one more game, right? You got to figure Jalen Hurts, he'll be back next week. If they don't win and wrap it up this week, he'll be back next week to win and wrap that up. So, but stranger things have happened.
Winning they sewn up well. Winning they'll get home field advantage.
Right.
Winning they sewn up
one of the next 2.
Yeah, basically. I think the 49ers right now, their best chance is to probably get the 2nd seed. Minnesota have got a tough game coming up, and the Packers are in life support mode. They've got to win out, and it only takes one loss, and they're done.
Yeah, Packers aren't winning that game against the Vikings.
Okay.
Chocotron 5,000 is coming into effect. He has the best. He has the. I saw a stat earlier on Twitter saying that he'd nearly done that. He's the most yards, this, that, the other, and everything. And all I put was, but he still sucks in the playoffs. He's never won a playoff game. Who gives a shit if you throw for 50 million yards? Can't win a playoff game. Who gives a shit?
Well, if they play the playoff game,
but anyway, right. Well, yeah, he might do. If it's underless, he's fucked. Right, let's pick some games. Now, there is a lot of irrelevant games this week, but contender number one for the shit bowl, Cardinals at Falcons. Well, we all know I'm picking the Falcons because I'm not picking the sorry-ass Cardinals. And I believe the little pipsqueak has gone on IR. So...
yeah, he's done. He's done for the rest of the season.
That'll be the reason why Cliff Kingsbury keeps his job, possibly. But I still think he may get fired on Black Monday because they're shit. They are awful. But yeah, Falcons for me. Carl?
Yeah, this game is basically I'll use an analogy here. I think everyone should use, and that is, if a tree falls in the woods and you don't hear it, is it relevant? In the same way about this game, if it's this game is playing but no one else hears about it, when we know it's going to be a shit game. But the Cardinals are all over the place. The Falcons, I mean, they're trying to find out what Desmond Ridder is like, and he's been okay-ish. So I will probably give the Falcons the edge on this one. I mean, it's the spread is -3, but yeah, this is going to be an awful game. I wouldn't recommend watching this.
But the only good thing about watching the game, if you do, is the stadium is fantastic. But that's all I can say about the Falcons is they've got a lovely stadium.
There's going to be more fans. There's going to be more fans in there from the Georgia Bulldogs than what there will be with Falcons fans in there tomorrow. Scott,
possibly.
Do you agree with that? Possibly. There you go.
Yeah, that's probably that I would say that's likely. Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins is questionable. Who knows if he even plays? Why would you play him if he's questionable? They got nothing to play for this year. They're on their third string quarterback. The Falcons have seen a little bit of life, like Carl said, with the new quarterback. So, yeah, I'm picking the Falcons easily in that game.
Okay.
Bears versus my second love for only 2 more weeks. Got very frisky in the last few weeks. Still going. Bears at the Lions. And the Lions have actually looked reasonable. I know they got whooped and they were run all over last week. And really quite shocked me to see just how bad they were in that game. Bears 3-12. I'm going to take the Lions. Got to take the Lions. Scott?
Yep, Lions. They're still playing for playoffs, right?
They are. They're only half a game back.
Yeah, Justin Fields. Yes. Justin Fields has looked pretty good this year, though, especially running the ball. He's breaking Mike Vick records for rushing quarterback numbers. But I don't think they have enough for the Lions this week.
No, they don't. They're massively. They've got a fantastic QB and nothing else.
Yeah, they need to give him some weapons.
So I am going to take the Lions in this. It is in Detroit.
Definitely.
So I will take Detroit to win this one. I've just got a funny feeling they're gonna nick a wild card spot, and I hope they do as well because they fought tooth and nail. They started off 1-5 in the first 6 weeks of the season. And now they've gone on this massive run now where they're now literally within touching distance of the Washington Commies. So
the NFC is terrible.
And that's
outside of the Eagles, the 49ers, and the Vikings, there's no really good teams in the NFC.
Not really.
Another team that's on the rise in the next one. Jaguars at Texans. And Trevor Lawrence has actually started to look like the first overall pick. He has still made a few dumb mistakes, dumb throws, but he's been actually quite a really good QB. No one's taking the Texans, sure.
No. Trevor Lawrence is the top-rated passer since week 9.
He has.
In the NFL.
Yes. Imagine what he'd actually have with a bona fide number 1 receiver,
You're
i.e.
not.
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, next year with Calvin
Next
Ridley.
year, third year QB. Look out. The thing is, I look at this game. The Texans in the last 2 or 3 games, they've shown a little bit of spice. They've actually shown a little bit of fight at long last. Here's the thing though. Thursday Night Football, Tennessee obviously got absolutely trounced by Dallas. Okay. This game to Jacksonville is not important. Because even if Jacksonville was to lose this game, week 18 is Tennessee at Jacksonville. Or the other way around, I'm not quite sure. But that's the matchup of week 18. That's for all the marbles for the AFC South just to get knocked out of the first round. Just saying.
I don't know.
If Tennessee get through, then they'll go out first round. If Jacksonville get through, might be a different story.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna pick the Texans in this. I don't think I think the Jags will not have their eye on this as much as a lot of people think.
I think that is you're going to be one of the last lone wolves of 2022, Carl. Over to you.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Not bad.
Now, the next game. Team on the up against the sorry arse Broncos week. Russ Hussey is so funny. I just cannot hide my glee at how bad Russell Wilson has been this year. It's been hilarious. I love an implosion, and this Broncos-led team by Let's Ride has been almost as funny as watching the Rams implode, but not quite. I can't pick which one is funnier.
You're
Denver,
you
shitty
screw me,
ass
and you're
QB.
fucking useless.
I just don't know, right, what is worse. The rampede that I'm still waiting for with the Ramley, or the fact that Russell Wilson is fucking shocking. He showed a bit last week, but not a lot. But even I cannot pick Broncos to go into Chiefs country and win. I think the Chiefs are going to wipe the floor with them. I honestly think the Chiefs will do a big number on them. That Broncos defense hasn't been, but just Russ is fucking.
No, because Christmas Day, I think the Broncos defense just decided to not. I actually think the Broncos defense on Christmas Day just decided not to give a fuck. They've been bailing out Russell Wilson and the incompetence of the offense all season long, and I just think they just got sick and tired of it.
Right. Have you seen these players, though, that have come out this last week?
But it is. I can't.
Melvin Gordon and some of these guys that have played with Russ Wilson talk about, look, man, Russell Wilson ain't the problem with the Broncos. It's the coaching and the other end. So I don't know where.
Well, the coach is gone now.
No one's ever stuck up for Russell Wilson before, teammate wise, and now these guys are coming out getting his back. It's really strange. The last time the Broncos and the Chiefs played, the Chiefs got out to a 27-0 lead, and then Patrick Mahomes, for some reason, decided to turn into Derek Carr and start throwing interceptions for whatever reason and let him back in that game. But they destroyed that Broncos defense. That defense is overrated. They have not played very good competition all year. Anytime they've played a team that has any kind of a top half or top third offense in the NFL, they have not been nearly as good. So yeah, Chiefs are gonna curb stomp the Broncos at Arrowhead tomorrow. And the Chiefs are still playing for the 1 seed too. I mean, they're motivated. They're gonna take care of business.
I might actually watch the Chiefs dismantle Russie Wussy and the Broncos tomorrow, as that's the early game.
I don't know. No, I'm not staying up to watch this travesty. Chiefs will win this all day long. I think the spread was something like -12.5. I think the spread was. Yeah. So
let's ride. That's all I can say. There's no way Russie Wussy is going to go into Arrowhead and win. There is no way. No way.
Do you two, have you watched or do you listen to the Travis Kelce, Jason Kelce, New Heights podcast? Have you listened to that at all?
I've heard little bits of it, but I haven't sat down to actually listen to one in full. So
Jason Kelce was talking about the Broncos, and he goes, "Broncos country, we tried." It was so funny. But yeah, that's been a disaster out there. Good God. And they're not even going to reap the benefit of sucking, because the Seahawks are going to get their top 2 or 3 pick in the draft coming up this year.
That's
absolutely awful.
That's what just makes it worse. You know, they're picks in the hands of Seattle, and it's actually a top 3 pick.
Right.
They traded several players, $250 million, all from midget Drew Lock.
Right.
Glorious fleecing at its finest. The only trade in NFL history I can recall anything even similar to that is the Herschel Walker trade.
Yeah,
that's the only time I can think of.
Right. At least Herschel Walker was good when he went to I think it was Minnesota. But
yeah, exactly.
We talked about this on my show Chiefs Kingdom Live earlier in the week. The Broncos are actually in worse shape as a franchise than the Raiders, which is really saying something. When you're worse off than the fucking Raiders, you are in bad shape. Bad shape.
When you haven't made the playoffs in 7 years, I think, it goes further up than just the owner. It goes further than the coach and the quarterback coach and the GM. Yeah. It goes further now.
John Elway trashed that organization.
Horseface will still be there. They ain't getting rid of Horseface. Forget it.
No, they're not getting rid of
and
Russell
long
Wilson.
May he continue.
The contract is so immovable, no one's going to take that. Anyway, what game we got next?
Hilarious. But anyway, Dolphins at your Patriots. Teddy Two Gloves versus the Mac Attack, Mac and Cheese. I wasn't impressed when I saw the Dolphins play the Niners. I have to say, I thought the Dolphins would be a lot better than they were. And even though, yes, we've got the best defense this side of the centuries, I still wasn't impressed with the Dolphins. I actually think the Patriots can win this one. So I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Ooh, Christ. Scott?
Yeah, this is a tough one to pick because you just don't know what you're going to get with Teddy Bridgewater. But at this point, I think they're playing for playoff lives. The Patriots, like Carl said, they just don't have offense. So unless the Patriots can somehow stymie the Dolphins and hold them down, they're not going to. But I think you're going to see a healthy dose of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Teddy Bridgewater knows where they make their hay. I'm picking the Dolphins.
Carl?
This is hard for me because we have a 25% chance of still making the playoffs, but we need a lot of shit to go our way. Beating the Dolphins is the first part of it. I am going to pick my team to win, but I'm not confident on it. Not confident on it at all. We're a bit depleted in the secondary. Devontae Parker and Johnny Smith are out injured. So, yeah. I'm taking New England, but it'll be a very tight, close game.
So, that means Mr. Smug are lone wolfing.
That's it. It's right.
Over to you.
Ow!
That wasn't me pumping my fists out saying thank you, Scott. That was the fact Arsenal just went 4-1 up against Brighton.
I gave up watching it when it went to freedom. It's on. But anyway, where's the cat when you need it? Where is the cat, Scott?
The cat is in the other room where it can't come out here and attack me while I'm doing the show. So.
Still the highlight of the year for me. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That was up there with Cole's little throwing his football at the sofa when the Niners traded up to 3. Colts, sorry ass Colts, versus the Giants, who unbelievably are 8-6. So yeah, no one's picking the Colts, surely.
No.
Oh right. Yeah, I'm not picking. Who are the Colts playing again?
Giants
at MetLife.
The Giants have ran out of steam as of late. I will pick them to win because me and Freddie had a little bit of a disagreement on a previous NFL on the Sports Capitals 4th and Goal show, where as soon as we found out the news that Jeff Saturday was the head coach of the Colts, I lost my shit, basically, saying that why the hell is he going in? He hasn't had a job before. He's not a coordinator before. He's got no qualification in the NFL apart from being a center for the Colts all time. The only reason why he's in there is because he's buddies with Jim Irsay. That was the only reason why. They had a nice win against the Raiders, nice bounce back win. Since then, and he's gone 1-5. Frank Wright got fired at 3-5-1. What fucking difference has that made?
That's exactly what the Colts wanted, and that's why they hired Jeff Saturday, because they could tank for a better draft pick, and then Jeff Saturday could go back to doing TV and not have to worry about the losses being on his resume. I think the Colts actually did a favor to anybody who had aspirations of being a head coach. I think the Colts did them a favor by not giving them the interim job and taking those L's and making themselves look worse on their resume. So that was a total tank. Hey, man, take one for the team. Jeff Saturday, it doesn't matter if he goes 1-5 or 1-6 and loses out the rest of the way, because he's going to go back to talking about the NFL on ESPN next year anyway.
And plus, as you said, it's not going to tarnish his reputation with the Colts fans.
Yeah.
Because they know they're tanked, so it's not going to help them. So, are you going to pick the Colts, Carl?
No, I'm picking the Giants. I can't put my trust in this Colts team. They're fucked. in a polite word to say, in a polite way to say it, they're fucked.
Again, Cards one. Saints at the Eagles. I need the Ginger Assassin to somehow do that and win. Obviously, Jalen Hurts is probably still not going to play. Oh, dear. No, I've got to go with the Eagles. I can't. I want the Ginger Assassin to do me a favour, but I just can't go against the Eagles. So I'll pick the Eagles. Scott?
It's tough because if Jalen Hurts was playing, it would be an easy pick, but the Saints are a feisty team. They've jumped up and nipped some people and won some games. Their defense is formidable. They've got some weapons on offense. They got Chris Olave, who's had some good games. Alvin Kamara is always still a threat on the ground. Man, I'm going to pick the Eagles. I think they're still overall good enough, that much better than the Saints, even without Jalen Hurts. But I don't think that. I don't think that's an easy pick.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles in this one. The Saints have a half chance of making the playoffs, but they need everything to go their way and then some. And I just don't see it happening. And they're pretty much probably playing the best team in football currently. So, yeah, Eagles win this.
Okay. Panthers at Bucks. Now, there might be some aquatic peril going on. I don't know what the weather forecast is. But there's no way that the Panthers are going to beat the Bucks, as bad as the Bucks have been at times. Bay at home, by the Cannons.
Jesus, this is hard because pretty much whoever wins this game pretty much controls the NFC South. But because it's Tom Brady, he'll pull the bullshit like he always does. I will take the Bucks in a close one.
Scott?
The Buccaneers just needed overtime to beat the Cardinals. The Panthers have been playing pretty well. They've won some games. I'm picking the Panthers.
Ooh.
Off you go.
Did Nick pick the Bucks or the Panthers? I didn't hear him. He cut out.
He picked the Bucks.
Bucks. That was some real southern hospitality at the end, y'all.
He's got gumbo cooking in the kitchen. What is it?
Yes, definitely. Browns at the Cowboys. Now, I haven't watched the Browns at all this year, really, and I certainly haven't watched them since the Sex Pest came back. So I don't know how he's been playing. Commanders obviously went in and got stomped by the Niners. Again, that defense I thought was going to be a lot better than it was, and they didn't. The Chocotron 10,000 is back at QB. So I'm actually going to pick the Browns just based on the fact that, Carson Wentz is the QB.
Okay. Scott?
The Browns, Deshaun Watson has looked terrible since he's been back. Maybe an off season will get him back to form, but if you're the Browns, you really have to be worried about that contract that you gave him right now, the way he has looked. Washington's defense is pretty feisty at times. They've got some playmakers. They've got more to play for. Carson Wentz, though, man, I have a hard time picking any team starting that dude at quarterback.
Bearing this in mind, guys, the Commanders are only -2-point favorite.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick the Browns. I just cannot pick Carson Wentz. Can't do it.
If Deshaun Watson can can stop thinking about happy endings and actually play quarterback, he might actually perform. But this is going to be solely put on the shoulders of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt at the running game, the defense of Myles Garrett and co. Yeah. I will take the Browns. The Browns are out of playoff contention anyway, so they got nothing to play for. So they're just there to just cause shit. So, yeah, I'll take the Browns. But it'll be a close one. It'll be a close one.
Clean sweep. Jets. 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 At the Sea Chickens. Carl?
Okay, so here's my reasoning for this, okay? New England's perpetration is if they beat the Dolphins and beat the Bills, they're through and get the wild card spot. We'll probably get our spleens ripped out by Kansas City anyway in the wild card round. There is another way of going around this, and that is the fact if New England beat Miami and Seattle beat the Jets, we can afford to lose to Buffalo next week on the precipice that the Jets beat the Dolphins. I am taking Seattle for those perpetrations. So I don't mind lone wolfing this one completely, but you know, I'm doing this for my own team's sake.
Well, you know, there's no way I'm picking the Sea Chickens. They can go fuck themselves.
Well, yeah, I know.
Casting vote is yours, Scott.
I'm picking Seahawks in this game.
Ooh.
The Jets are not that good. Seahawks, they can run the ball. Geno Smith has played much better than any quarterbacks played on the Jets this year. DK Metcalf is still a beast. I know the Jets have a good secondary, but it's DK Metcalf. I'm picking Seattle.
Okay. Vikings at the frozen tundra of the Green Bay Packers. Packers are holding on for their life. Chocotron 5,000. Come back. I don't know how many points. How many points did they come back from the other week to win? Was it 30 odd, 20 odd, whatever it was? The Vikings.
33, I think.
I'm going to go with the Packers.
Oh, wow.
Carl?
Okay. This Packers team, they're frauds. They're frauds if they don't get in, but if they do get in, they're going to be bloody dangerous. Unless they play San Francisco in the first round, then they're going out anyway.
Bye-bye.
Give me Minnesota.
Scott.
I'm taking the Vikings as well. They whipped the Green Bay Packers earlier in the year.
That was a little Freddie there at the end.
I heard something going on in the background there. Is that...
Where's Freddie? I thought Freddie was going to be on here.
Well, so did I. So you better tweet him and tell him that he let you down. You've got this would be interesting. Rams at Chargers. No one wants to watch either team at SoFi. So the stadium's empty because obviously most teams invade SoFi because there's just no Rampede there. I'm going with the Chargers. Obviously. because I
I'm
want
taking
more
Yeah.
misery put on the Rams.
Chargers defense is not as good as the Broncos defense, but the Chargers are showing a lot more fight, and they have a better QB. So I will take the Chargers in this one. They've sewn up their wild card spot anyway. I think this will be probably their last game they'll have at a neutral venue, you could say, because they're both playing in their same home stadium. So you could say it's a neutral venue. And yeah, so I think Chargers get this comfortable. I think Chargers win this comfortably.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a neutral or a home field advantage for the Chargers. They could play themselves and still somehow have the fans cheering against them. But I'm going to pick them to beat the Rams. The Rams they've come alive a little bit with Baker Mayfield, but I think that's a flash in the pan. The Chargers,
they still suck.
They still suck, right?
Steelers at Ravens. I don't know. I haven't seen if Huntley is still playing QB or whether
Huntley is still in. Huntley is still in.
I still think they'll have too much. And the Steelers to get 7-8, I think, is going to squeak out another season where they have an even record, but he's got to win this week because I don't know who their last game is against. I'm going to go Steelers. Carl?
The over-under on the points in this one is 35. That's how low this score is.
I was going to guess like 15.
Yeah, it's 35. This is going to be a real... I will stay up to watch this game because I do like watching defensive football. I agree with Nick. I think the Steelers nick it. But don't take the points or the spread for it because this is just going to be this is one of the almost awkward games. So, but I'll take the Steelers.
And they're always good, quite good games as well between those two teams. What do you think, Scott?
The Steelers are not a good football team. They needed a miracle at the end to beat the Raiders last week at home. I thought I saw Lamar Jackson was going to play though.
I haven't heard anything of such yet.
Maybe someone could look at that and see if I don't think he's been ruled out. I thought there's a chance he was going to play. I was talking to someone at work about fantasy football championship week this week.
Well, if I was Lamar Jackson, I won't be playing.
What's that?
Well, if I was Lamar Jackson, I wouldn't be playing. I ain't still got my money. I got my money. I'm not fucking stepping on the field. I've just got injured.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm picking the Ravens regardless.
Okay, off you go.
Lamar Jackson. Sorry. Lamar Jackson is officially out. So I don't know if that would have altered your pick anyway, but he's definitely out. So. 2 more to go. Bills at the Bungles, who are actually bangling. What do you reckon, Carl?
Fuck the Bills. I'm taking the Bengals.
And I know which way Scott's going to go, I believe, but we'll see. Scott?
Bengals are winning that game.
Got to be very careful with Scott because if the Bengals win out and the Bills even lose one of their they lose out and they lose to New England next week, Bengals will actually take the number 1 seed.
Only if the Chiefs lose a game.
Only if the Chiefs lose a game.
Chiefs are ahead of the Bengals by a game right now.
And your final 2 games is Denver and
the Raiders.
Oh yeah, that's not going to happen. But I'll take it. I'll take Cincinnati. They're looking good. They're looking good.
They almost lost to your Patriots last week. They're not. They're not.
Yeah, but we continuously keep. Yes, but we keep on continuously fucking ourselves in the ass all the time. So
we pissed that game away against the Bengals again a few weeks ago. I don't think we've done a show since that game.
No.
But fucking Chiefs had the ball up 4 driving in the 4th quarter, and Travis Kelce, of all people, fumbles the damn ball. And they go down, and it's just the Chiefs find a way to blow the game against the Bengals every fucking time we play them. Bengals are not some juggernaut team. They're just not. So, but I think the Bills have been struggling. The Bills have been hanging on for dear life. I want to say that Josh Allen has like 18 turnovers in 16 games so far, 15 games this year. He has not looked good, particularly the last month. It's at home. Bengals are playing in Cincinnati. I'm taking the Bengals.
Okay. Nick?
I'm going to go with the Bengals as well, actually. Like Scott said, the Bills have been in a few games.
I mean, they needed a last-second field goal to beat the Lions the other day, and the Jets.
My 2. Yeah, I mean, Jamar Chase is a great receiver. Joe Burrow's playing out of his skin. So, yeah, I'll go with the Bengals. So that's a clean sweep. And now it's America's the week, obviously. LA, the sorry-ass Las Vegas Faders versus the San Francisco 49ers. I wonder who I'm going to pick in this one.
I wonder who we're all going to pick in this one.
Yeah,
the San Francisco 49ers.
I think we need to build a grave. I think Nick Bosa needs to build a grave ready for Jared Stidham because he's going to get absolutely fucking buried. Yeah, this ain't going to be a contest. This is not going to be a contest. It's going to be that stadium is going to be filled to the rim with 49ers fans. They've seen the contingent over there in Vegas already. It looks fucking ridiculous. Breezy has already been posting on his social media and on his YouTube channel, and he said it's lit. Vegas is just lit with 49ers fans right now.
Well, they reckon 60% of the seats sold in that stadium are to Niner fans.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's mad, isn't it? Mad. But
no.
Yeah, I know I'm a homer, obviously, but there's just I can't even with Derek Carr playing at QB, I can't even see that being a thing.
No. Nope. 49ers win that game.
So that should be interesting. I think my internet is just about to go again, so hopefully it will stay. Just final thoughts. 2022 in the books. 2023 incoming. Final.
There was two more. Well, I was going to say though, I was going to ask for two more predictions. Obviously, it's something to do with the NFL. The NCAA playoffs are on tonight, so the 2 games to go through to the final is you got the Michigan Wolverines taking on the TCU Horned Frogs, and then you got the Georgia Bulldogs taking on Ohio State. I just want to quickly go around the horn. I know, Nick, you don't pay much attention to college, but I want to get
I've got absolutely no clue. So I'll say I've heard of Michigan, and I think that's where Jim Harbaugh is these days, isn't that? Is that right?
It is.
And who were the other ones?
Well done. Georgia Bulldogs versus Ohio State.
I haven't heard of the other one, but I have heard of the Ohio State University. So
Yes,
that's the other team. But I am clueless because I've got no idea.
that's fine.
But that's my
Scott,
picks.
Scott, you'll have a little bit more indication. Michigan at TCU.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Michigan. I don't think they're as big of a favorite as they're being made out to be over TCU, but I still think they win.
I still think they win as well. Defensively, they're better. Blake Corum is in for running back as well. Donovan Edwards, the Don, has been carrying the low while Blake Corum's been off injured. 1-2 punch of running back, and that's Michigan's bread and butter. They're going to really, really cause problems. Okay, so you chip music on that one. Georgia, Ohio State. Georgia, yeah, and for me, it ain't even close.
No.
Ohio State could put up some hell of a fight, but yeah, I think Georgia just got too much. They've just got way too much.
Ohio State, the Big Ten is not very good this year outside of Michigan. So Ohio State got rocked by Michigan, which was the only other good team in the Big Ten this year. So,
yeah. Good afternoon, Ryan. How are you doing, my friend?
Man, sneaking in at the buzzer here.
I know. Sorry, it's got dark. Sorry, guys. How you guys doing?
We're doing good, mate. We're doing good. Happy New Year to you, mate.
I want to.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all.
I want to wait for Nick to get back on here. We didn't get a chance to talk about this World Cup much since we haven't done a show in 3 weeks. So I want to talk to Nick about that when he gets back real quick.
Okay, Ryan. We've gone through most of our predictions.
I'm back.
Oh, okay. Let's just
no. Go ahead.
Let's just get Ryan's predictions first. Let's get Ryan's predictions first before we talk whatever Mr. Smug wanted to talk about with the World Cup. Ryan, so we've gone through all the fixtures now, including the 2 NCAA playoff games as well for tonight.
Okay.
So first up, we have Cardinals at Falcons.
Falcons.
Bears at Lions.
Lions.
Jags at Texans.
Jags.
Broncos at Chiefs.
Chiefs. I'm going for Chiefs, Scotty. I got Chiefs for you.
Good man.
Dolphins. Ryan. Okay, Dolphins at Patriots.
My wife's gonna hate it, but sorry, honey. But I'm going for Dolphins.
Woo!
Oh, okay. So Scott takes his lone wolf back.
She's not in the car.
Okay.
Not here.
Okay, Colts at Giants.
Giants.
Saints at Eagles.
Saints. I'll go for some Eagles.
Oh, you're choosing the Saints.
Yep.
That's a lone wolf for you then.
Oh boy, I had a feeling everybody's going for Eagles. I had a feeling. All right.
That's good enough. Panthers at Bucks.
Oh, say that again. I'm sorry.
Panthers at Buccaneers.
Panthers.
Oh, lone wolf taken away from Scott again.
Sorry. There you go. Got you.
Slow down, Ryan. You got the radar detector going on.
Yeah, I know how to turn that down a little bit. Sorry.
Browns at Commanders.
Commanders.
Oh, off you go. Lone wolf again. I'm not going to bother. Jets at Seahawks.
I don't go for Seahawks. Jets.
You going Jets? Okay. Vikings at Packers.
Jets. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Vikings at Packers.
I'm going for the Cheeseheads only because if they lose that game, we win. We're in the top slot or second slot.
Okay. So Nick, you've had your lone wolf taken away on that one. Rams at Chargers.
Chargers.
Steelers at Ravens.
Hey, Freddie, you be happy. I'm going for Steelers in that one.
Okay, Scott keeps his lone wolf.
Got that by Scotty.
Steelers
Bills.
suck.
Bills at, Bills at Bengals.
Bills.
Oh, lone wolf, sir.
Oh!
We've done the 49ers and we know where you're going to go with this one. Okay, so the two playoff games within the NCAA. Michigan at TCU.
I'll be going for Drewski's team, Michigan.
Michigan, okay.
Yeah.
And Georgia at Ohio State.
Oh, I gotta go for Nick Bosa's team. Ohio State. I'm sorry. I go for Bosa.
Okay, so Nick has his
Ohio State.
away. Okay, so that's all our predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, I've just seen your private chat, so I take it you want to start closing it off now.
Yeah, I've got to run. Mr. Doug, what was it you wanted to bring up with me?
Oh, we didn't get a chance to talk about World Cup because we haven't done a show in 3 weeks. Messi wins.
Yeah, that's all finished.
Everybody talked about that final.
Finished.
What a great final that was. It was a bunch of fucking penalty kicks like that. I thought that was a terrible final. Like France, if it wasn't for penalty kicks, they would have gone home in the group stage.
I didn't even watch it.
I mean, is it rigged? Messi gets a World Cup in his last World Cup. I mean, is this shit set up or what?
Quite possibly. I didn't watch it.
I honestly think.
So.
I thought it was good. I thought it was a good final, and also the way France showed their tenacity to try and get back into the game. But sometimes a penalty shootout is the only way you can go about it. And I think because these two teams were very, very evenly matched, Argentina hadn't remembered the last time they got knocked out by France, which was 4 years ago. Yeah. So they wanted revenge for it. And it just looked to have been on the cards from the very get-go that, this could be the last time that Messi plays with Argentina and they go on with the World Cup. And it is that sort of reasoning. But
then the only other thing is, how bad did Harry Kane get ripped over there in England for that missed penalty kick?
Not as bad as Bukayo Saka's missed penalty kick in the Euro final.
They're still trying to find the ball, apparently. But England will always be England. Sad news at Pele, obviously, greatest player ever to play football, soccer,
absolutely,
whatever you want to call it, died. Be wrong not to mention that. I had the privilege of watching him long before Scott was born, probably, and Carl, in the 1970 World Cup with that great Brazil team. Great player, sadly missed. And the thing that I sort of took from his death really was just how bad cancer sucks. When you saw the final pictures of him, it just didn't look like him. And cancer is a motherfucker, and it's just a really shit. Oh, look at old Cole. Look, filling up with elderberry wine or whatever the fuck it is he's drinking.
I thought he was
Sicilian lemon gin, motherfucker. All right.
I thought he was pouring out a drink for Pele there. I thought he was pouring out one for his dad.
Do you know what, Scott? You're fucking spot on there.
Yeah, that's
any
Pele
excuse for a drink.
Yeah, Pele, man, was like an international star, right? I mean, everybody in every country around the world knew who Pele was. So sad to see him go.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And one more thing about the World Cup, and I never thought I'd say this: Brighton and Hove Albion have a World Cup winner playing for them, and that is something I never ever thought. Whose
name, if you take away the space, is fucking Scottish? Come on, man.
Don't care. Still a World Cup winner. Plays for Little Brighton. It's incredible. Yeah, it's been good. Right. Final thoughts, because I've got stuff to do and time is getting on. Carl, final thoughts. Let everyone know where they can find you. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at KB Sports 31. You can find my YouTube channel, KB Sports. I will be back on that channel in the next few days or so, doing a lot of content for Patriots and Arsenal FC. You can also find me on the Sports Capital as well. Currently, at the minute in time, we are doing live watch-alongs for the World Championship Darts, and it's been an absolute joy with David Shaw and Jordan as well. Been absolutely brilliant on there. We've had guests. We've had three recent interviews. We've had a former North American champion come on for an interview with us called Danny Baggish. We've just recently, it's on this afternoon actually. We've just had an interview with Sky Sports broadcaster Stuart Pike. And we've also got Australian darts player Raymond Smith coming on with us at some point in the next few days as well. So, and you can find me on there doing a lot of Premier League stuff as well as. So, yeah, busy time. And Happy New Year to everybody. And I hope next year will be better than anyone's had this year's.
I hope my internet's better next year. Scott, final thoughts?
I was going to say, I don't know what's worse, the NFC West or your internet, but you can find me on my show, Chiefs Kingdom Live. We just got our first 1,000-view video, getting a lot of subscribers and views, and channels taking off, and so it's a lot of fun. We're teaming up with John V and the Locker Room Rant to do an NFL playoff preview show the Tuesday before the playoffs start there. I believe that's January 10th. So come on over, check that out. Looking forward to playoff football here, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So it's good to be back. Good to see you guys. Glad everybody's well. Congratulations to Carl.
Thank you very much, buddy.
I know that was a lot of stress. You were going through that, and so you came out the other side. And looking forward to 2023, man. And my team, Sporting Kansas City MLS, was this close, according to reports, to signing Cristiano Ronaldo. We just missed him. That would have been fucking bonkers, dude, to have that guy playing soccer here
Sporting Kansas nearly signed Ronaldo.
They were go online, look it up. That close.
Apparently, I was actually going to mention that because I see that they were very close.
Yeah,
but
that would
then
have been crazy.
Decided to take the Saudi Arabian shekels.
Right. Right.
And
Saudi Arabia,
talking of your viewers, they're over 1,000 views on one of your videos. It's amazing what you can buy on Fiverr. How much did it cost you to get 1,000 views on one of your $20?
It was a lot.
Yeah,
it was a lot, but it was worth it.
Indeed. Well, I tried it once, and I paid. I don't know how much I paid, but I got one of our videos to over 1,000, and I did blatantly cheap on Fiverr, and it was funny. Ryan, sorry it was only brief for you today, but good to see you again. Know where they can find you, what you're up to, etc.
It's all good, gentlemen. It's all good, Nick. Don't worry about it. I hope everybody had a great Christmas, which I did. I had a wonderful Christmas. It was a wonderful Christmas. We all spent time together in the front room together and opened all our presents. We had fun. It was a great time. And I hope everybody has a great New Year's Eve and New Year's, which I probably won't be because I know I got to drive tonight when it hits midnight. So I'll be in the car when it hits midnight. So, but because my wife when I pick her up. So, but on Wednesday night, you can follow me at JMSY168. That's my Twitter handle. And of course, you can find me and my fellas on Reddit Gold 24/7, which we will hopefully be airing the next couple of days if possible. I know I've not been doing shows for a while because I'm trying to do the family stuff, on the side because my family stuff's been going on around my family right now. So, but hopefully soon I'll be getting that going again, and hopefully definitely a Faithful Empire. And I got plans for other stuff to come up. So I'm just getting everything going. So basically we'll come back though, and I'll let you guys know. Of course, you'll hit the subscribe button and everything, and you'll know when we go on. All right. I thank you guys very much for having me on. All right.
Yeah, good to see you, Ryan.
Nice, Ryan.
No, you too, Scotty. There, I gotta go, guys. Okay, I gotta go. Okay, gotta find me stuff.
Awesome.
Love you guys. Later on, man. Peace.
Take care. Right. Well, that just leaves for me to say thank you to everyone that has watched all year. Yes, we've had a few weeks off, but we're back getting ready for playoff football. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Carl, for, as ever, being on the show. Thank you to Harrison, Ivan, JSV, John V, back in the day, Dion, just everyone that's just contributed to this channel. Thank you, Omi the Goat, Laney, just everyone that comments every week and comes and listens to our tomfuckery for a couple of hours on a Saturday. We will be back next week, hopefully. Only remains for me to say Happy New Year, everyone. Stay safe. Go Niners. And we will be back next week. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Carl. Take care, everyone. Cheers.